All right, Zig coming in on the top. Today on the show, we have the legendary HR of the Bad Brains. Also, we have the Human Rights Band. We talked to Ezekiel Zagar, Hektor B, Sean Mclaren, and Dane Foltin. Now, I use the word we because I couldn't do this interview by myself. Joining me is the one and only Dakota Michael Kroos, bass player and best friend extraordinaire. Now, my whole goal with this podcast has been to talk to insightful people and share their insights and try to spread that feeling you get when you get super inspired when you read a line of poetry or a line of lyrics or hear the right thing from the right person at the right time that resonates you and changes how you think and approach things. And I've been incredibly lucky to pick the minds and dig for insights with some of the people I grew up loving and being completely inspired by their work from. Now, I've been in talks with HR's team since 2020 or 2019, like 6 years, going back and forth, trying to line up an interview. And somewhere during the process of that, an interview never quite came to fruition, but my band, C-Level, letter C-Level, which Coda plays bass in, we ended up recording a track with HR, which has been way cool and has been a complete dream come true. And it kind of goes to show sometimes the thing you're trying to do doesn't quite work out, but something even more amazing comes out of it. So we did a song with HR. It's called What's Left. It's on all the streaming platforms. And we lined up a release show. We played with H. We opened for him. He came out and rocked a couple tunes with us. And now that that's said and done, we did like a written interview for some press stuff for that show. And we came around to it and we set up an actual interview. So from the process of just trying to set up an interview, all these amazing things have happened. And I don't know, it's just one of those dream moments where you pinch yourself and you're like, well, none of this would have happened if you didn't reach out to try to do one thing, So I guess the takeaway for anyone who's listening and, just do the thing, try it, see what happens, send the email, talk to the person, tell them you think it's cool. You never know what's going to come from it. All right, so this conversation is broken up into a couple different segments. And the reason is we caught the guys in between a signing, a sound check, and a performance. So it gets the phone gets tossed around, and then we have to split at one point and pick up the following day. But it goes as follows. First, we talk to HR. And then we start talking to each member of the Human Rights Band, starting with Sean Mclaren, who is manager extraordinaire. And then we go to Dane, bass player and musical director of the Human Rights Band. He also plays in the band Lion Heights and Roots Rockers Club. And then we go to Hektor B for the end of the first segment. Hektor is the drummer, and the guys have to jump on the stage, and we pick up the following day, and we talk to Ezekiel Zagar, who plays guitar. He also plays guitar, does vocals, and he played in the band Mclaren. And then we finish up with Hektor B. So this was a very inspired conversation. It was really cool to talk to H and learn how each member of the band became part of the team working together to make the Human Rights Band as impactful as they are and hear how they influence and inspire each other. It was really, really cool and enlightening. And I'm excited to share that conversation with you guys. But before we get to it, we're going to listen to a track. This is the song What's Left by the band C-Level, letter C-Level. That's Coda and mine's band. We are a high-energy funk-punk reggae rock group that takes 12-string acoustic guitars and runs them through Marshall amplifiers. And this is our tune featuring the great HR. The song's What's Left, a band, C-Level, letter C-Level, featuring the one and only HR of the Mighty Bad Brains and the Human Rights Band. Now, H and the crew have a lot going on for 2026. Plenty of shows to be announced. If you go to hrofficial.com and the HR official social media sources, you can find all the tour dates for the Human Rights Band. H also has the re-release of his kids' book, I've Got That P.M.A., which has been out of print for quite some time. They have some more out on their site. You can order it there. And Let Love Lead the Way. HR's new record that he recorded with Ted from Pacifier is on all the streaming platforms, and there's a sick vinyl that you can get as well. And there's one thing I want to address. At the very beginning of this interview, I was kind of multitasking because H jumps into it, and we're having a great conversation. He's telling me this epic story about knowing Bob Marley, and I'm just kind of like, oh my God, that's crazy. And I'm also trying to get Coda into my apartment. So I'm slightly distracted and trying to navigate that crazy cool conversation and get Coda in. But then when Coda gets in, which is very briefly after, we lock in and it gets way more epic. And I'm very stoked to be able to say that I got to share this whole experience with one of my dear friends, Coda. So anyway, I'm going to stop talking and we're going to get into this conversation. But before we do that, last thing, if you like what you hear, if you can like, rate, review, subscribe to the podcast and any of the podcast platforms, it helps me keep talking to amazing guests like HR and the Human Rights Band and sharing their insights with you. So without further ado, here is our conversation with HR and the Human Rights Band. Alrighty. Cool beans.
Hey.
All right.
Yeah, man. Cool beans.
Uncle H, how
Rice
you
and
doing, man?
peas. Hey, man, I can't complain. I just giving thanks to life,
Beautiful.
how it go. All right.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for taking time to chat with me today. I know you guys got a busy run, so I appreciate it.
Oh, yeah, man. It's busy. Hold on.
All right, H. Well, I wanted to kind of start off. Can you tell me about early life and your time in Jamaica?
Yeah, man. When I went to Jamaica the first time, I was about 4 years old, and life was different then for me. I was a little boy, and my mother said she had to leave. So she married my father, who was a man, and he had to get the paperwork together for her and me to go travel with him from Jamaica to America again. So I started school there. And life for me was pretty normal. I just had fun with the kids and everything. But I remember my sister telling me, don't take the shortcut. You better take the way you're supposed to go to school. But one day I wanted to take the shortcut. So it was kind of dangerous because there was a big dog.
Oh, no.
And he started chasing after me. So I was running and I had to duck and get out of the yard through some barbed wire fence and it cut me.
Oh, man.
But why I'm laughing is because if that dog had got a hold of me, man, I would have been riddled to pieces.
Oh, man. Well, I'm glad.
Mm.
Oh, man, I'm glad you made it.
Yes, I'm glad I made it too.
So can you tell me about some early music experiences? And if
Well,
there was some in Jamaica?
yes. There was the Israelites,
Ah, yeah.
and they had a song put out that went Israelizer, and I remember I played ukulele, and my father used and my little brother say he wanted a drum, and he got himself a snare drum one Christmas. My daddy buy him a snare drum, and we was upstairs in our rooms playing, and my daddy had a party one night, or evening rather, and he say, "Yeah, well, Paul and Earl, will you please come down and play some music for us?" So we take ourselves downstairs, and the party was going on, and we played music for everybody. And the song we played was Israelizer. I remember those days very much. I miss them. I miss my brethren because you want to see. I knew Bob Marley personally.
Yeah?
Yeah, man. I meet him later on in life, and one day he said he had to leave, and I said, "No, don't go. Where you going?" He said, "I'm going to the recording studio." I said, let me go with you. So I went to this recording studio with him, and he said it was some big mans They were bigger than me, and they said, "No, you can't come in here. You wait out front." So I had to go outside and wait out front, and I was mad about it. Woo-wee. I was madder than hornet's nest inside of a tree.
But how? Oh man, yeah, just to be so close. But that's so cool. That's so cool.
Yes, that's reality.
So
And me and Bob was close friends, you know.
yeah,
Me, Bob, T, Peter. Yes, man, I meet them all, and Bunny too.
was it? When did you meet like Peter and Bunny at different times?
No, at the same time.
Okay, okay. Now when you was this this was like after you saw them perform for the first time, correct?
I never see them perform in Jamaica. I won't.
Oh, okay.
I see them years and years later in the 80s, around 82, 83. In no. It was in the 70s, around 78 or so, in Capitol Center in Maryland, USA. And then I see them perform.
Wow, man, that's so cool. Like because some of these like Bob Marley and some of these guys are such like mythic figures to the world of music, but these are your friends. These are people you knew. That's so
Yeah, those
incredible.
are my friends. Long time. I miss them too.
Oh yeah, of course, of course.
Mhm, mhm.
Um, so when did like at the same time like when you're having these like experiences with music in Jamaica, were you when did gospel music come to you?
Well, I'll tell you, I was born in a Christian family, and my mother used to go to church, and my father used to go to church early in life. When I was around 7 or 8 years old, they take me to church, and I remember when I was about 13 or 14, my grandfather was here in Georgia, not in Florida, but in Georgia. And he said, "Come get baptized." So I let them baptize me, and some people we were in the Baptist church. Some women got filled with the Holy Ghost, and they was on the ground scratching and moving around. Hallelujah, hallelujah, and talking in tongues and just flipping around. And I said, "What's going on with that?" And they said, "Man, that's how they act when they filled with the Spirit, boy." So um, that's how it was for me early in life.
So with gospel music, did it hit you the same way?
No, I never did that. No, I stayed away from that kind of activities. I was in the background, and I was into at the time the Rolling Stones, the Beatles, and all that, all kind of music. And I said, them kind of people are losing their minds. Oh, Lord have mercy.
So also I read that Miles Davis and jazz fusion had an influence on you.
Yeah,
When
yes, she did.
did you get to meet Miles too?
No, uh, not really personally, but I did know, get to meet some other brethren that played blues and jazz in the clubs and early in life when I was a teenager, because I used to hear about them. And WHUR was the radio station that played their music a lot. And I remember I was into RTF, Return to Forever. Chick Corea
Yeah.
influenced me a lot. And him and Stanley Clark. with Al Di Meola and Lenny White had a big influence for me in my early years, and it was their influence that I was into creating good music.
It's incredible. Yet,
Hmm hmm
joining me, just so you know, Coda just walked in.
What's up, Uncle H? Good to hear your voice.
Hey, yeah, man. Good to hear your voice too,
Yes,
God.
blessings. It's great to hear you talk about
Blessings.
Return to Forever, because I remember getting into them from hearing about the Bad Brains and you talking
Uh-huh.
about them. And I got the
Uh-huh.
album Romantic Warrior, and I fell in love. Like you said, Stanley Clarke, he's a big influence on me.
Ah, yes,
And I
sir. Yes,
thank you
sir.
for that.
Yes, sir. You're welcome. You're welcome.
Was it one more question on some early
hmm
influence?
hmm
How did the
hmm
Ramones and the Dead Boys influence your music
Oh,
and influence the
well,
Bad Brains?
there was a club, there was a club called CBGB's, and they used to play there. And I heard about the Ramones, and I went to go see them at the University of Maryland. And they played there. And I thought Johnny Ramone was kind of cool. But after I went to go see him, I said, man, those dudes are losing it. And he surely did lose it. Golly. I mean, he was out of it, boy. But anyway, I never seen the Six Sex Pistols or B-52s, but I did get a chance to meet this group called the Dots, um, and Jerry Williams, who was one of the first engineers to work with the Bad Brains, influenced me, and he drove me in a van from New York City all the way to California to play some shows. In a van called Joey and Miserable and the Worms.
And Jerry was the one who recorded the classic Roar sessions, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. He sure did.
What a guy.
Yeah, it's a long drive too, man.
Yes, it is.
Did you ever get a chance to see The Clash?
Yes, I did. We played with the Clash before. Yeah, in the Brains. We played with the Clash when I was singing the Brains when they came to America.
Did you get a
hmm
chance to speak to any of them?
Yes, I did. I surely did. I was introduced to the whole band. hmm
That's very
hmm
cool.
That's amazing. That's what a bill that must have had to been, man.
Yes.
That's so cool.
Yep.
Awesome. Well, I kind of jumping out of like music influence, I kind of wanted to dive into some kind of philosophical influence. And
Okay.
I was wondering if you can tell me about the importance of the book Think and Grow Rich.
Well, see, the main influence was Mr. Hill, who wrote the book, said that the teachings in that book came from the Holy Bible. And that's what led me to being a Rastafarian through his teachings. Because when I read that book, my father said, you can't sit here in the house and watch TV all day long. Go and read a book or something. Do something with your life. So, being a man that wanted to teach his sons and his daughters about reality, he had that book up there on his refrigerator. And so I pulled it down, I read it thoroughly, and the book led me to the philosophy of Christianity, the beginnings of the Christian life, and how one can take those teachings and be a winner and not a sinner. Be a winner and not a sinner. And then that's what led me to 12 tribes of Israel. I'm meeting uh, all the brethren that were the executive brethren and sister that were the executives of the 12 tribes. And knowing that they were teaching me about and people about their personal lives and how they became Christians. And I could relate to that 100%. And it was so inspirational. That's what I remember.
That's beautiful.
Mhm.
Was Ross
For
Michael
40
one of those?
years,
Was Ross
yes,
Michael one of the brethrens of then?
yes, he surely was.
That's beautiful. I love his music. If you remember my daughter Freya, the little girl that drew you the picture.
From the Cleveland show.
Oh, yeah, I remember you.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes. And
I remember.
thank you. Yes, yeah. She loved that night. She wanted me to tell you hi. She says hi, and
Oh,
she did have one question for you.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
She said that What's Left, that song that we played together,
Oh,
CeeLo, that you
yeah,
played with us. She said that's her favorite
yeah.
song. And
Oh, she did.
she was wondering what is
Uh-huh.
if you could remember your favorite song from when you were a youth.
Other than Israelizer, another one was James Brown.
Oh,
Pick
okay.
up pieces.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, man.
We love James Brown. I'm gonna
Well,
play.
you're a
I'm gonna put.
strong sister.
I'm gonna play her that
Oh,
song tonight.
they was getting a bag of water. Um, you gonna play that bag song tonight?
Yeah, I'm gonna play that for Freya tonight. I'm gonna show her the James Brown song and tell her this is
Oh
HR's jam.
man. Oh, oh boy. Okay, you can do that.
Yes, she loves your record. Let Love Lead the Way. That's her favorite.
Oh
She loves that
man.
reggae version of Attitude.
Oh, thank God. I'm so grateful to hear you say that because I wrote that whole album for the people of all ages.
Yes, it hits for all ages. It's a perfect album.
Okay, good. It's not every day a person is gifted with the ability to do that, and I'm now going up there in age, and I thank God that He inspired me to be a teacher in the world and of music. And good music is important because music gonna teach the people that lesson that they'll never forget, and they can dance to it too. That's what I love about reggae music.
Yes,
It's listenable and it's also danceable.
that's beautiful. I like to envision you as more of a teacher than a singer. Your music goes a little bit deeper than that for all the generations.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
So on the topic of Let Love Lead the Way, what was it like working with Ted from Pacifier?
Oh man, he was he's um how can I put this? He's like the Einstein of music.
Yes.
He really gets into his little studio and develops his art of music and of being an engineer and a producer. And when I called him, he came and picked me up, brethren, and drove me to his house, which was about maybe 50 to 60 miles away. And he knew just where I lived, picked me up, drove me there in his van, in his truck, and then we started recording. Let love lead the way. And that brethren sat down and then hooked up my vocals. and made sure that I was singing in key, because sometimes I was singing out of key, but he had a machine that made it come into key. And he said, man, that's my job. I got to do it right.
Yeah.
And he did it, and it was incredible. It was just incredible, brethren.
We've got to hang out with Ted a bit, and he was telling me that you make some mean blueberry muffins.
Yes, I did. They were bought in the bakery.
You tricked him.
But no, but I do make muffins.
Okay.
I do make muffins. From scratch.
Beautiful.
Well, I'm so thankful that you got to link up with Ted, because that album is
That wasn't
is
you.
beautiful.
I thought that was you. Oh, okay. Hey, Gary. What's up, man?
I don't want to interrupt.
Oh, go in, man. Good to see you. Come on. Gracias. Yes, I. True.
Also vibes tonight.
Yeah, man.
Yes.
So have you been studying?
Yeah.
Okay. We're gonna sing together.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
How you doing, Ziggy?
Hey, good man. Good to hear you.
What's up, Sean?
Everything on point?
Yeah, we're doing great, man. We're having a great convo.
Yeah.
All right, man. We'll let you guys get back to it.
All right, thank you, man.
Blessings.
Yeah, man. Big respect.
Respect.
Rastafari.
Rastafari. All right.
You check your mic, okay?
Okay.
Awesome, man. Yeah, like Ted, I remember talking with Ted, and he was really honored to work with you too. And he's one of those guys that, you know, when he gets into it, he gives it his all. So, and I think that really came through on this record.
Yeah, man. It did. Take it from me. It did.
I also love the previous record before that, Give Thanks. That's a beautiful record too.
Oh, thank you, man. We did that at Sci-Fi Studios.
Very cool. Was it? So was that with Dante and Hector and the current band playing on that one?
No, it was a different band.
Okay.
It was Freshie on bass
Oh, okay.
and Adam Williams on drums.
Yeah, that's a great album too. I feel like you got some very special lyrics on that one.
Oh, thank you. God bless you, son. Thank you.
So, and to talk about some other like things, because you've been busy, man. One thing we caught, you just hit the stage with the new lineup of Sublime, and even back in the day, like you were doing shows with those cats, and they were they were your backing band for a couple gigs. What was it like playing with them back in the day, and then now?
Well, it was different because we were playing punk rock music or fast music, and not reggae. But now we play reggae, and then at the end, everybody joins in, the manager and the tour manager, and it's just like one happy family on the stage playing, and that was inspirational. Hey, mate, how you doing? All right. So you got everything?
How about you?
I did. I got my water. I'm fine. Okay.
You want me to heat out some warm waters for you?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
All right. I'm back to the.
Thank you. Blessings.
Um,
So one of my favorite things you've done, and Freya's favorite book ever, is that book, I've Got the P.M.A. I know.
Yeah.
I know we showed you it last time we saw you and told you how much you loved it. I was curious, what inspired you to turn the song Attitude into a kid's book?
Well, I'm going to tell you, I wanted to do something for the youngsters and who were just starting out in school. and help them out. It was an idea from, thank you, thank you. It was an idea from Sister Kate, who is a friend of Dave's and Landon's out in LA, California. And she had a son called Jordan. And Jordan was just starting out reading, learning how to read. And she said, how about you write a book called I Got the P.M.A.?
Yes.
And I said, sure,
It's
sure I will.
that was a great idea. Yeah, it turned out great. Like it really, Freya's still just learning to read too, and it's one of the first books she's starting to pick up words in. I was wondering, did you have a do you remember any favorite books from when you were a youth, from when you were a kid, like any kids books that you read?
Yes, sir. Christmas books. I remember my Christmas carols. And one of the books that I read was in school. And I did like Babar the Bear. And I used to read Babar stories and also the Grinch who stole Christmas too.
Freya does
You
love
remember that one, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I remember Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. You know, just playing around with Santa Claus, meeting him in stores and sitting on his lap and
Yes. I have to.
asking him how would he.
I'm taking Freya in a few days to see Santa on Wednesday.
Yes, I.
It's a beautiful thing. It's beautiful that you still have those memories. It's a beautiful time of the year.
Yeah, it is.
This has got to be the start of the Christmas single, right?
Yeah, the new HR Christmas single. Yeah.
Okay. So kind of jumping back into the kind of philosophical train of thought here, for anyone who may be kind of like, because you have a fairly disciplined spiritual practice, and through everything we've talked about so far, it all has come through this and just part of your being. For someone who wants to get started on kind of a more spiritual path, what would you recommend someone do, or where they would look, or what to read, or what to listen to?
Read the Holy Bible. You got to read the Holy Bible from the beginning, Genesis, all the way through to Revelation. And then you will learn truth for yourself. There's people who do talk about the Holy Bible, but they don't read it. You got to read it and enjoy it. And then you will learn for yourself what's going on, because you need your map. When you, and we say this, a chapter a day keeps Satan away, keeps the devil away. And it's true. Sometimes we read more than a chapter a day, 2 or 3 chapters a day. But we read the Holy Bible. And they ask me, well, what do you want to read today, HR? And I tell them Psalms 1 or Psalms 100 or Psalms 119. We have different Psalms we read, Psalm 68. But I would suggest to read the Holy Bible. It makes a difference. But we're in the club, so you can't get too holy roly, you know?
Yeah.
Because people will look at you like, wow, what's wrong with this dude? We're here to have fun, man.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Well,
So you gotta let the kids have fun. And sometimes big youth too, they want to have fun too. They're over 21, you know, they don't want to sit around with no fuddy-duddy talking about Christianity all night.
it's true. It's true.
They think you're losing your mind or something, slipping out cold.
Was it? And also, you know, in different environments, I think messages like that don't resonate the same, because you're right. They're there. Everyone's there to have fun, not necessarily ready to hear like a deep kind of life-changing, thought-altering message, you know?
Yeah.
So I guess on the topic of the Bible, is there any like like parts of the Bible right now in your life that this moment that are really resonating with you?
Any one particular book?
Yeah, or just with the
Yes, Revelations.
yeah.
Yeah, and Haile Selassie being the power of the Trinity, how he is about part of the big part of Revelation. So I would suggest read Revelations the most.
All right, beautiful, man.
Mm-hmm.
With the in like because right now, you know, being in like this part of your career and keeping everything going and having this amazing team that you do, because we've had an honor to work with you, but also an honor of being able to work with the people that you work with, and like it's such an incredible support team, and everyone's so caring about everyone and everything, and it's definitely a true blessing. When you think about like kind of like where you are now, are you like more excited about what's to come?
Well, it's a part of life, Bridget. You have to work. If you're going to take care of yourself, you have to work. If you just sit on the log and don't work, don't do nothing, you won't be able to survive. I and I survive. We're survivors.
Yes.
Israelites survivors. You hear me?
Yeah,
Yes.
Israel been through the bitter cold and the sun blazing, and it's important to work. Work, work, work. That's the only way to survive, brethren.
You have to water the flower for it to grow. Continue to
You
grow.
have to water the flower. You have to water the tree. Yep. hmm
I had some
Some people
questions.
have a job, and they hate it. They hate their job, but I love my job. I love my job because I've been um, trying to be a musician since I was a teenager. And when I finally got that opportunity to get on the stage, man, I used to run around like, woo, like a rabbit out of the cage. But I learned my lesson about moving too fast. Sent me straight to the hospital. Well, son, you better take these medicines here. I say, yeah, okay. I'll take my medicine. Woo.
Yes, that was a big inspiration on us when we were younger, not just to play the music, but just to have the intensity behind it and put your whole spirit behind it too. And we learned quickly
Well,
too that you got to slow down sometimes.
yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's what I love about reggae music.
Yes. You can
You
hear
know?
the message a lot clearer when you slow it down a little bit.
Yes, 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 yes. You can.
Speaking of message, I was
hmm
curious about an older song, the song "It's About Love." This is a song I sing to my children when I lay them down for bed. You met Freya, but I have another little baby boy, and when I lay them down, I sing, "It's about love, it's about love."
Yes, I.
And
Yes,
I was
I.
just
Sure.
curious, what inspired that song? Can you speak on the spirit and the lyrics of that song?
Well, Mr. Copeland was talking in the interview, and I was listening to the interview. It was on the radio, WHUR, I think, or PFW, and or WPFW, one of the two. But I do remember him coming up and talking in the interview, and he was saying, how some people were suffering and they were they needed help, and that's one of the reasons why we can't overlook human rights, because friends of mine used to come and ask, say, "Hey, HR, what's going on on the go?" And I used to wonder why they call me HR. I said, man, I gotta get me a I'm listening to this dude singing my song wrong. I tell you, he's up there doing the sound check. But anyway, to answer your question, Sting was talking about human rights. I said, well, that's what HR can stand for, human rights. And from that day onward, I never forgot the interview Sting did, nor my responsibilities to life and how I got to take care of myself and other people. I got to feed them. Hold on, hold on. Okay, I'm back.
That was a beautiful story. Thank you for that, H.
Okay.
Another song I was curious about. What about the song "Singing in the Heart"? Do you remember what inspired that song?
Yes, I do. There was a time in my life when I was feeling lonely and depressed, and no joy was in my words or in my heart. And I said, well, I'm going to have to get my life together and do something. I need to write a new album. So a friend of mine, Paul Cornwell, said he was going to give me $25,000 to write the album. But I got to be music coming from my heart. And I said, okay, I'll do it. And that's when I came up with that phrase,
Wow.
singing in the heart. And that's how we did it.
That's beautiful. That's such a heartfelt song too. That makes so much sense because it's just every time I hear it, I feel it in my soul.
True.
I'm thankful for that. Thank you for that tune.
Thank you. Yes, I.
What about another song I love is "Our Faith"? Do you remember anything about that one or recording that album?
Yeah, I do. That came out shortly after Singing in the Heart, and I knew that from my Bible teachings that the music has to come from the faith of music, the faith of God. You have to have that faith in it. So I wrote this song called Our Faith, and I thought the name of a good choice would be to call the album Thank You. Okay. I know you did your best. Don't worry. Okay, I won't. Are you still on with Iggy? Yeah. I'm all. He asked me what inspired me to write Our Faith, and I was telling him. But thank you, Ziggy. It's a pleasure to meet you, and I'm gonna let you go now. And it's a pleasure to meet you too, Mr. C.
Thank you so much, Uncle H. It was so good talking
I'll see
to you.
y'all as soon as possible.
Sounds like a plan.
Blessings.
Thank you so much, H.
Okay,
for
blessings.
this and the show and the
Respect.
song. We appreciate you more than you know, my friend. Thank you.
Yes.
All right.
You got me now, Ziggy.
All right,
Perfect.
Sean. Cool.
How y'all doing, man?
Good. How are you, man?
Good.
We're good. Honored to be here. H, you going to go and hit the stage? All right.
All right. Cool. Well, are you down if we do a bit with you and then?
Yeah.
Okay. I get. Is everyone else on deck right now, or?
They're all. H is actually walking out to do his sound check. If you heard me singing in the background,
Yeah.
So I got him set.
Perfect.
So he's going to be going up there now, and you're going to have him in the background of me.
All right. Beautiful. So.
And then if we have to regroup for the other guys, we can, which is okay. But I wanted to get the meat of it done.
Yeah. H seemed to be in great spirits,
Yeah,
man. This was a pleasant conversation. So,
Well, you all lifted spirits, man. So we're grateful.
Thank
Well,
you.
thank
He
you,
lifted
man.
mine. Dave moved to a new apartment. It's my first time coming here, and I had to park super far, and I was like shivering coming in. And the second I heard H's laughed, it like warmed my soul back up.
Man, we were prepped for this. Like, he spent some time to think, and he got the opportunity to really meditate on what he wanted to say. So that was the easiest handoff interview that I've ever done. I was able to go get set up, and I knew that he was in good hands with you all. So I'm grateful.
Thank you.
we're honored that
yeah.
you felt that way. So thank you, man. Well, to start with you, man. Well, okay. On a side note, when you do a sound check for H, you hit these certain things. Like when you did at the Winchester, you did like these 3 like distinct H sounds that I know fall into the frequency range of what they need to mix, but you killed it. Before we jump into it, I want to say your impressions and your like what needed to be checked was so on point. It was amazing, man.
I'm grateful for that. Yeah, we focus hard on trying to get the emphasis on his lyrical talents. And sometimes, like, I want to make sure that the mic's set such a perfect way that he could whisper it and it can come through.
You definitely, you got it down. It was so good. But all right, Sean.
But we also spend so much time together that it's easy for us two to mimic each other, believe it or not.
I totally do. When you're around someone, you pick up their mannerisms. You pick up, their little their jargon, just their turns of phrase. It becomes part of your vocabulary. So I wanted to lead into now. We've talked before. So can you tell me how skating brought you to HR?
Yes, my friend Jim Solomon and I, we had a thing where we used to go to areas without skate parks, and we would put up a pop-up skate park. And the whole goal was to find the kids in the community who maybe were not riding pro decks or maybe didn't have the right equipment or gear. So we would do these pop-up events, and we would invite our friends who were artists and other professional skateboarders to come. And basically, through that, a really close man who happens to be a professional skater and a touring musician, Chuck Treese from Mclaren, was really instrumental in helping Jim Solomon and I out. And ultimately, Chuck was the one who brought HR and I together.
Very cool. Yeah, Chuck's a legend. He's worked on some of H's music over the years.
Yes, he took Earl's place for a little bit in the 90s, and he's also worked with multiple. Just the family hood's big with HR, and Chuck is the intricate key part of that. Honestly, without Chuck, I would not know HR, and we wouldn't be talking right now.
That's beautiful. We're thankful for Chuck. What a legend.
Yeah, grateful for Chuck, man. He's I keeper,
Yes.
So even from that like initial meeting of like, you meet someone like H, and then like, but like when and how did you actually start working with H?
H came down to see if he could use a living space that I had at the time. So he agreed to rent from me. So we actually started out as a landlord-tenant kind of relationship,
Wow.
Whoa.
And imagine having HR as your tenant, right?
Yeah.
And it was one of those situations where I took care of the property. It was a property down in Maryland, and it was all inclusive in the lease, the lawn care and all. So I was kind of forced to be down there quite a bit. And so once he moved in to my location, and, through our like-mindedness, because that all happened through the keeping our youth active events and skateboarding, we started hanging out. And then next thing I know, it almost became like a point, like if you can recall having like a really good friend back in grade school where every day you got off work, you just couldn't wait to go hang out with your friend. Yeah. HR and I kind of had that going on. And it wasn't through music. It wasn't through skateboarding. It was just through like-mindedness. And, we're both build people up, not tear people down. So the more we talk to each other, the more we wanted to hang out. Here we are.
That's awesome. That's a beautiful connection. Do you remember like a first musical connection you guys had? Like a first, like you played him a record that he loved, or he played something where you were like, oh, I love that, something that you connected on early?
I remember exactly where I was the first time I heard Quickness in 1988. That was my first connection to H. Not knowing much later that the album Quickness and all of its messaging would come back to me full front. And so for me, H impacted me as a youth like he did you all. So I was very conscious of who I was talking to when I met him. But I was also very taken by the fact that he is human rights. This man represents his lyrics. And I'm kind of evidence of that.
Absolutely.
So, like, from working with H and living and like learning and having this connection, what are some like lessons you've taken away with just being and living and being around H?
Careful what you stand for. Always remember that anytime you stand for one thing, you're inadvertently standing against something else. And that's why we stand for human rights. It's a very trying time where everybody's got a lot of ideas of how we should be. Right. And H is a true friend that's allowed me to be me, and it taught me that this is a guy who, when you look at his past and what people like to go ahead and comment or say about him, is never addressed it and always let it live on its own. So his lyrics have had to speak for him. And I can tell you that they're true. So, yeah, I think the first time H and I listened to music together, it was Hugh Mondale's Africa Must Be Free album.
Okay. Very cool.
And, that was the first, like, where we sat and listened to it through and through. And I'm a kid who comes from the alternative hip-hop world, maybe.
Yeah.
So he said when we met, he was like, by the time I get done with you, you'll be listening to nothing but reggae.
And look at you now.
He's about 90% right.
That's
Messaging
awesome.
has become important to me since I started hanging with H. Messaging is very important to me. How we present ourselves, what we try to do for each other, that positive buildup and that positive mental attitude, it sticks with me.
Well, it's an incredibly empowering message. You know what I mean? Like so much so that the Brain's first record, you know what I mean? Like when you hear Attitude for the first time, you know what I mean? Like that becomes something that's so like, how can I have not had this influence or this thought process before that, you know what I mean? It stands the test of time with how impactful it is. So it makes...
Yeah, man. Opie said something during the documentary Finding Joseph I, where and he said something to me personally that backed it up, where HR was the first artist to really say that he loves you with his music and let other people know it's okay to tell each other that you love each other when you're talking to each other. And that resonates with me because I got the same message that Opie got. Opie got it, 15 years before me. So HR's consistency is amazing. And I can't express to you what positive mental attitude means to me from that standpoint of being with somebody who has all these opportunities to be negative and just doesn't. HR is not a negative energy.
Very true. I love what you just said, the word consistency. I think that's very important when you look at HR's career because when we just spoke to him, we were speaking a lot about the newest album, Let Love Lead the Way. And I think that if you look at the overarch of his whole career, I think that's one of the most important and beautiful albums of them all. And for him to still be able to make music that impactful and beautiful and still reach the youth, it shows that he's got this consistency of just always singing from his heart and singing the true things that he feels, and it's so beautiful that it's lasted this long.
You know, it, like you said, working with the youth, the way that he worked with Ted is amazing, because Ted is a generation behind, correct?
Absolutely, maybe even two
you can see right there how they're able to mesh together, and I mean, HR is a human builder, man. He stands for human rights. I can't express that enough. When we talk to each other, when we are planning our execution, his mindset for work, everything is about the people, for the people.
Yeah.
It's all human rights,
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not a joke. It's
well, of course.
It's a lifestyle choice and practice.
Yes, and we're so thankful for that.
Yeah, and like
it's a big inspiration on us.
Right. And just to go back, consistency of anything is going to, what I mean, like as a person grows and develops, like hopefully you kind of find that thing to latch onto, that thing that really helps guide you. H was we were talking with H earlier, and he was talking about having a map. And like P.M.A, just positive mental attitude, is such like a simple like guidance for anyone to find. And like it's just that it'd be like H's main thing through his main philosophy. That's such an empowering and impactful one. So I know Cody and I think are thankful that we found it through the Bad Brains, and like we are kind of, I'm thankful that it's still going and people are still finding it through H and his music. So we got one more question for you, Sean. Appreciate you putting all this together. I know you're putting out like 20 fires right now, and you're doing it with a smile on your face.
Yeah, man, I'd like to give you Dane next, if that's okay.
Well, of course.
That'd be awesome.
I got a...
Okay, and good. The last question, and then I'm going to hand you to Dane, okay?
Okay, sweet. So last one for you. What is a profound or memorable gig or show that you guys have done together?
Wow. Yeah, I think going to 930 Club in DC, taking HR home to get to meet his son and meet his grandchildren, and it was a big moment, because that was the first time that the band and I had met HR's son and family outside of regular dealings of talking on the phone. But yeah, that one, 930 Club with HR in March was the deal.
Wow, that's epic. So his grandkids got to watch him play?
Yeah, man. His son and his grandkids came, yeah. It was a pretty special deal. And I think that you got probably, you could wrap that same thing up for Dane too.
Yeah.
Because he's the one who said that to the show, and I agree.
I heard him in the background.
All right, awesome.
Yes, I'm going to hand you off to Dane now. Thank you, gentlemen.
Cool,
I really
Sean.
appreciate
Blessings.
it.
Hey, Dane, how you doing, man?
Good, brother. How are y'all?
Good, man. Good. We're stoked to be talking with you, and thank you again for doing the Cleveland show at the Winchester and rocking out with us.
Yeah.
But the kind of jump into it. So I had a couple questions for you. Can you tell me about the Root Rockers Club in Chicago?
Yeah, that was my original band that I started when I moved to Chicago in like 2000. It probably started in 2008 or 9. And basically, like, I moved to Chicago to go to school, and I didn't have any friends, so I started a club at the school called the Roots Rockers Club. And I just put flyers all over the school to, like, get people that are interested in reggae music to congregate. And we would meet every Friday. And then, I had like a bunch of people come through that, and play. And eventually the ones that actually stuck around became like my good friends. And then we took it and made it like a real band outside of the school, and, toured a bunch and put out I think we made 2 records, and it was just kind of like reggae school, you know, because we were still young, figuring out how to play the music and like navigating the Chicago scene. So yeah, it was nice. We got to back some artists, and like like I said, just like figuring out how to cut our teeth at playing the music in the big city.
That's like, that's incredible. Like I don't know, you know, to be able to post, like I'm trying to equivalent that to like something Cody and I have done, and like trying to like just meet people through. And the first thing that popped in my head is like a Facebook group and how it never goes anywhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's incredible that it actually works, and you met cool people, and you're able to like start. It sounds like that's where your kind of musical journey started. Yeah.
I had a band already in Houston called Brains for Dinner. That was reggae as well. And we had been doing our thing since like 2005. But when I moved to Chicago, that was like how I was trying to meet people. And yeah, I mean, that's the whole thing. I didn't do it on Facebook. I like made physical posters and flyers and like walked around the school and like recruited people. And my guitar player, who's like one of my best friends, I like physically grabbed him from the hallway and was like, "Hey, I need a guitar player. Come and play." And like, and he just stuck around.
That's awesome. That's like a D. Boone, Mike Watt story almost.
Yeah,
It's minus a tree.
Yeah, man.
Was it always bass?
Yeah, I've always been playing bass.
Okay. So
Yeah.
with like, because you also DJ too, so I wondered, like, is there like what are some of the similarities and differences from being a bass player and being a DJ?
Well, I'm not sure. There's not like a much similarities for really like playing bass and DJing, but I think like being a band leader and like watching the crowd and figuring out what songs would work next is like something that DJs figure out. Like if you're playing on the fly, you're gonna reading the crowd and you're gonna figure out, oh, this song worked, so I'm gonna play another song that's similar to that or the similar tempo or whatever. And so when you're the band leader and you're like writing the set list or you're like making calls on the fly, you know, reading the crowd is important. And I think that DJing has helped me like figure that part out. But musically, I mean, like the mechanics of playing bass and DJing, I think, are just really different.
Yeah, no, it totally makes sense. But I think like what you said is really wise words, because like as you're reading the room, and because you you musically direct for Human Rights, correct?
Yeah. I help figure out what we're gonna play and talk to H about it, get the set list approved and all that.
Because like that's like it's kind of like one of those skill sets. Once you build everything, like you could easily lose your way without that, and that's so important to the dynamic of a performance and a show and keeping an audience engaged. So I can definitely see how DJing like directly affects that.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, the show has to have an arc to it and like a storyline, like a movie. So you want to try to like put songs, where they build tension, and then the first couple songs and the last couple songs are like the most important too. Like make sure you put the bangers in there.
Yeah, absolutely. One so to kind of dive deeper in the bass playing with like roots music, the bass has a very particular like place within it, and I wondered, with your perspective, does playing bass kind of unlock roots music?
Yeah, I mean, I think that was initially what drew me to the genre for sure. Like just loving heavy bass lines. Yeah, like listening to like early Burning Spear, like that's what really did it for me. And yeah, man, I think there's something really spiritual about the bass, the root chakra, I don't know.
Stoked to see it.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
So
it does unlock the roots, I think,
So you were playing bass before you got into roots music. What was some of the music that
I
made
was
you pick up
punk
the
rock.
bass?
Punk rock?
Well,
Yeah.
I was like that. I started playing bass because I thought Sid Vicious was super cool, and I really wanted to be like him, even though he was like the worst bass player ever. And but I just thought he looked cool, and like I saw that movie Sid and Nancy, and like I like the Sex Pistols a lot, and it was Bad Brains that kind of helped me make that transition from punk rock to reggae, because I just slowly started to like the reggae tunes more and more. You know.
That was very similar to me at the time. It was like Bad Brains and Operation Ivy, bands like that were making me realize,
Yeah.
like, I kind of think I like the reggae stuff more, and then that led me down the roots path.
Yeah. Yeah, I used to listen to like Rancid and a lot of like punk ska. I liked Off Ivy too. The Vandals, like I was like really into like the punk shit. So
Did you ever go down like the jazz fusion rabbit hole, like any of those? We were talking to H earlier, and we were talking about Stanley Clark. Have you ever dove down that rabbit hole?
Yeah, I mean a little bit. I mean, definitely like in high school, like when I heard Chameleon, Herbie Hancock for the first time, it like blew my mind, and like that whole record is cool. More recently, like I like to listen to Cassiopeia. Have you heard of that group?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like driving, it's like one of my favorite musics to listen to while driving. So I do a little bit of jazz fusion. Very cool. Yeah.
So when did you start working with H?
I think like 2 years ago, probably. It hasn't been that long. Yeah. But since H said since I was born, kind of. I was working with you, and you didn't even know who I was yet.
How did that come about?
They had some gigs in Texas, and their bass player like couldn't make it last minute, and so I just got the call through the grapevine, and I was like, yes, I'll do it. Like, so we did like 2 or 3 shows in Texas, and then like nothing happened for months, and then I just kind of called to check in, and they were telling me that, their bass player might not make it for this tour. And so I was like, hey, sign me up. And ever since then, like, it just worked out. The other bass player got another gig. And so I just, just got the gig,
cool.
right time, right place.
Epic.
It's all about that, man. It's all about being there at the right time, right place. You never know when that's going to be or where that's going to be. So like,
and like making myself available. Like another bass player got the call before I did, and he couldn't do it because he's like a HVAC guy. Like he couldn't do it because his job. But this is all I do. Like I only do music, so I make myself available for like opportunities like that, and I'll drop everything to do certain stuff. So.
Yeah, that guy should have quit the HVAC job. I'm a plumber, and I'd quit the plumbing job in a moment to go hang out with H.
Right? Yeah, I don't know. It just wasn't right for him.
So what are some lessons you've learned from your time with H?
That's an interesting question. Well, definitely patience is a virtue, and I just have to like accept the situation sometimes, because you know how it is. Can be kind of challenging, and the road is always hard. Like I'm kind of used to playing in bands where like we were friends for a long time and we grew up together, and these situations are more like we've only known each other for a few years, so it's gotten a lot easier. But like definitely like at the beginning, you're basically living with these people on the road, and like you don't know them that good, so the personalities, and like you just have to really be easy and be a light personality and don't create a lot of waves to get along.
Yeah, no, I think that's solid advice.
Things get easier, but yeah, definitely in the beginning it was some tension.
Was it well, and being in a confined space with anyone and being presented with like immediate challenges everyone has to figure out right now. You know what I mean? There's a lot. I get it. So, and we kind of already asked if there was a memorable gig, and you also said the 930 Club.
I was curious, being a Texas guy, have you ever come across the band Full Service?
Oh yeah, that's a good question.
Full Service. This sounds so familiar, but I don't think so. Are they reggae?
Yeah, they're an Austin group. They're reggae, and their drummer does like the mastering for our albums.
Yeah, now I want to do that.
Oh, really? They're an Austin reggae group?
Yeah.
Well, they do. They kind of cross over too. They do reggae rock and
they get a little heavier. They do some like more metal stuff sometimes, but I'd say they're mainly a reggae group.
They did this.
Interesting.
They did this whole documentary called the Takeover Tour, where they would go play. They played in the parking lots at
They followed
311.
311 on tour.
And then they eventually got to open for 311 from doing it. It was
Cool.
Yeah, man, it's super sick.
I have never heard of them. I'm really surprised that I haven't.
Yeah, I mean
Service.
Austin and Houston are pretty.
Full Service. Full Service. Yeah, H is asking about it. Yeah.
Definitely check them out.
Yeah.
You guys would dig them.
So they're
Houston,
in Austin.
No, they're in Austin.
Yeah.
That's pretty far from Houston, right? Like a couple hours.
3.5 hours.
That's what I thought. Yeah, I've only been there once, so I thought it was a couple hours.
Yeah. I mean, it's not. I go down there all the time for shows. It's not too crazy.
For sure.
Everything.
Texans drive a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ohioans do too.
But I mean, Texas,
Yeah.
everything's far.
Yeah.
Everything's really far. Awesome.
You can drive for 10 hours and still be in the same state.
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
Yeah.
Awesome, Dane. Well, thank you so much for letting us pick your mind, man. We appreciate
no
your
problem.
time.
Yeah, man. Good. Thanks.
Much blessings.
And I have another group too, like outside of Roots Rockers Club, called Lion Heights.
Yeah, tell us about that.
Well, you guys can check it out if you're into the reggae vibes. But
Absolutely.
it's basically me and two other guys from Chicago. We left Chicago and moved to Austin and started another band down there. So it's similar to Roots Rockers Club, but it's I don't know. It's just like the genesis, or like we continue to evolve. So, but we have like 3 albums out on Spotify. So, and we produce rhythms as well, and like voice a bunch of different artists on the rhythms. So like we did a song with Luton Faya, with Chuck Finda. Some other Jamaican artists. You can go and check it out.
That's sick,
Very
man.
cool. Yeah.
You guys ever play Cleveland?
Yeah, we did with Josh Heinrichs, because we were backing him, and then we would open. It was like us,
That's a cool gig.
Josh, and Bumpin' Uglies.
Very cool gig. I bet those are awesome gigs.
Yeah, no, those Bumpin' Uglies always draw really good. So
Yeah.
those shows rock.
we played with them one time. And
No, we
it
opened for
was-
them twice.
Oh yeah, twice.
Yeah, we did a couple of them.
Well, there's always been great shows. Anytime
Yeah.
we get to play with them.
Super cool crowd.
Yeah.
Yo, what's up? It's Hector B here.
Hector!
Hey,
Who's
Hector.
this?
This is
Who's this?
Ziggy and Coda from Sea Level.
Oh, wow. What's up, man?
What's
Well, we're
up?
doing good to hear
Wow.
you, man.
Yeah.
Thanks, brother. I don't think we've ever spoken over the phone. How's the family doing? Everybody's good?
Yeah, everyone's great. Yeah, we were just talking to H about Freya and telling him I'm taking her to see Santa in a few days. Yeah, everything's great.
Nice. That's cool.
How's your family doing? How's everyone doing? How's the tour going?
Everybody's good. Thank God. So far, so good. Knock on wood.
That's great to hear.
Yeah, man.
Excellent.
So what's going on, man? What do you got going on? What's happening?
So right now we're doing a podcast, right? So we're
okay.
interviewing the Human Rights Band. We're interviewing you.
Oh, nice. Right on. Yeah, man. Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man.
I'm on it.
We're honored to have you, and it's always every time I get to speak to you, it always feels great. It's a blessing.
Well, I hope I don't let you down, man.
There's no
Okay,
way
I'll let you
possible,
guys
Hector.
down.
Never.
Yeah.
I'll keep trying to pay it forward, man. But thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah, man. Ever from the first time we met, but like in at the Winchester, that gig, everyone I talked to who got a moment to talk with you was like, "Man, Hector's such a cool, nice guy." Like, we appreciate you, man. We appreciate you.
Yeah.
Well, that goes all around, and thank you for seeing me, and thank you for acknowledging me, and I'll try to keep that going. That's tough to live up to, but I'll do my best.
Beautiful. So to kind of jump into it, with your musical journey, like when did you really start playing bands, and like when did music really become a way for you to like express yourself?
Oh wow. I mean, it goes back from probably like out of the womb, you know. Um, my mom's she left her body a few years ago, a number of years ago, but she did an amazing thing while she was pregnant for me, and then after birthing me, and for many years, she did journal entries
Wow.
in regards to my growing, you know, this, that, and the other. And I have that book. I have that book. It's amazing. I have that book. But early on, she was like, this kid's always tapping and hitting on things and singing. And so, you know, music goes way back. And even before I think I was even really, you know, conscious of it, so to speak, um, there was music all around me because I grew up in New York City, you know, in the late 60s and the early 70s. And my family being from Puerto Rico, you know, music is such a huge part of the culture. Now we're in New York City, and, you know, at any point, birthdays, holidays, someone got a new pair of shoes. They were cooking, and they had the music, and they were drinking, and, you know, it was just so music's been with me, you know, from day one. Sorry for that long answer, but
No,
yeah,
that
music's been with me for since day one. And growing up in New York City, you know, there's a lot of ebbs and vibes and flows, and a lot of people from all over the world, and so it's just it's ingrained. You know what I'm saying?
that's beautiful. Do you remember any early like gigs in New York City, like influential gigs from that time period that made you like want to pick up the drums or become a musician?
Well, I think, you know, given what my mother would write in this book, and as far back as I could remember, like I think I've always been a drummer, you know, and I always wanted to play the drums, but the drums were always taken, so I got to play the violin. And that was cool because, you know, I like classical music as well. I loved all music, but, you know, the violin, I believe, really gave me a chance to get the melodic side of myself, you know, a chance to grow. And it's still doing that every day, day to day, you know, just melodies and rhythms and frequencies and vibrations, you know. And I'm blessed with the drums, and I do what I can to hold that beat, you know. But I mean, like, the vocals, the rhythm of the vocals, the rhythm of the guitars, you know, the leads, the bass, the rhythm of the folks listening. You know, there's a lot going on, and a lot of times I feel like I'm picking up on that, you know. And sometimes, all too often, I feel like I'm a little too open to it. I've kind of got to like kind of narrow it in and focus in what I'm supposed to be focused on, because I get distracted by all these different rhythms. If that makes any sense to you. But, you know, growing up in New York City, you know, like just the sound of the city. Like I said, you know, winter, spring, summer, and fall. There's just different things happening. There was a lot of music during the summer, of course. You know, I got to see this amazing conguero. He was on a salsa record label called Fania, and his name was Ray Barreto. He was a conga player, and I must have been 7 or 8. And over on Pitt Street, which is where like Charlie Chaplin grew up back in the day, and, you know, these old tenement buildings. I was in the projects down the road, but over on Pitt Street, they pulled up with the flatbed trailer and this big truck, and they had this whole salsa band playing around Ray Barreto, and that was big. That was big. But, you know, outside my window when I was a kid growing up in the spring and the summer, the guys would hang out and they would drink and party, but they would have congas and cowbells. And if they didn't have cowbells and congas, they were just hitting whatever they could. So, you know, it goes way back for me. It goes way back. Yeah.
I mean, just it's incredible that your mom like kept that, you know. And I can't imagine, because I lost my mom not too long ago, so I can't imagine like being able to kind of step into her life, because as you're a kid, you have no clue. You know what I mean? We learn later, but and even just to see some of the trends that, because as you know, as we get older and as we become ourselves, like you kind of have your own image of the journey in your head. but to know that someone else, saw it too, that's so incredible. And like, that's something really, really special, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah. And it's cool. Like we go to Coney Island in the summer a lot. We take the F train, roll straight out. But I was real young, and I could tell you, man, I remember that, it was made of wood, and everybody would walk up and down it, and it ran along the side of the beach there in Coney Island.
The pier.
Yeah, well, not the pier, the boardwalk. The boardwalk, and like I remember, like you could feel the nails. I could feel the nails. They weren't sharp, but that boardwalk was built by hand, so it was the wood, and then you could feel each nail head as you were walking. And my memory, I go pretty back. My earliest memories are I was probably a year and a half old. I can remember being in the stroller, my mom, my dad, my family pushing me when I was still too young to walk. And I remember the rhythm of the wheels on that boardwalk. It's kind of crazy. Growing up in New York City, it was really intense. It was
A lot of different rhythms.
It was loud. Yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot. It was a lot. And it was really cool in a lot of ways.
Did you ever get to see the Bad Brains in New York City early on?
I didn't. There was a few times, and I was off and running in a different direction, so I missed them, unfortunately.
Gotcha.
So it's amazing how the universe has kind of brought me full circle.
That is crazy.
It's another, to kind of touch upon what you're saying. It's insane how much of our life is rhythm. You know what I mean? How much just the year moves in seasons of 4, like night and day, like we move in rhythm so much, and like, it's really interesting that you are very perceptive of it. That's like, and like when you mentioned it earlier, I can see how that can also be like, distracting and hard to focus on that when you're that open to it. Do you still work on the violin?
I have a violin at home, and I need to restring it. But, if you ever come to my house, I've got like, guitar and bass and, various instruments kicking around. And, I try to hang out, got a piano. My partner plays. She plays violin as well. So, we try to keep it moving, But, it's interesting. Not too long ago, about 10 years ago, 10, 15, about 10 years ago, there was a band that picked me up. They needed a drummer. And they were called The Big Takeover. And they named their band The Big Takeover after that movie, was it Rockers? Where they go into the DJ booth and they take over the DJ booth. So they called themselves A Big Takeover after that scene in the movie. And it was like a blend of like ska, reggae, they had horn players, and it was a lot of fun. I was with them for like 4.5 years. And people all the time would ask, well, you guys called Big Takeover after Bad Brains? I was like, nah, it's from the movie. But, it's interesting because I always thought about HR, and I was like, man, I would love to play music with him. I'd love to be in his band if that were even at all even possible. And so I'm playing in this band called Big Takeover. And then this one brother who used to manage HR had a side band called the Dub Agents. And he asked me to come play drums because he had seen me play with the Big Takeover. So now I'm playing in this band called Dub Agents. And then I wind up opening up for HR. Couple 2-3 times. Fast forward, Ezekiel is playing guitar with HR, and Ezekiel and I go back to like the early 90s in New York City. He would come out to see my band play at the time. And we stayed in touch, and we didn't talk or see each other for a long time, but the universe brought us back together. I think he was visiting Woodstock and I was playing music, and he saw me and we were like, yo. So we stayed in touch. Told me he was playing with HR. And, it was interesting just to kind of how things just kind of start to kind of come together, so to speak.
That's a very beautiful story and flow
Yeah.
of how the rhythm of how it all came together.
Yeah, like I've got this snare drum. It's a side snare drum. It's a piccolo snare drum, and it's the snare drum that belonged to. It was the house drum at this place in Poughkeepsie called My Place Pizza, and that was where I opened up for HR with this one particular band. And the guy who owned the establishment, I'd ran into him after the fact, and he said that he had closed the place down. He'd had a lot of live bands there. And I said, whatever happened with that snare drum? He says, I still have it. I was like, yo, man, let's trade. I got to have that snare drum. He's like, all right, let me think about it. So he hit me back. He's like, okay. So we traded. So I got the drum and I started using it. And not long after I got that drum, which was the drum I used to open up for HR, I get the call that HR wants me to come and play his private birthday party. And that was 2 years ago, coming up in February.
Wow.
Was it?
So I have that drum on the stage right now.
Wow.
That's so
I use
epic.
that, so.
That's so epic. So,
yeah, and Ezekiel would say that he always wanted to be in a band with me, and if he ever had something and he could have me on drums, he would love that. And lo and behold, the old drummer, there was some things coming up, something or other, and there was an opportunity for me to come through, so that's what I did. Hey, excuse me for a second.
You're all good.
Yes, Ziggy, I got this circumstance where I have to take the phone out to the table now.
Oh, okay.
Can we revisit so that we can finish up Hektor and Ezekiel tomorrow at Charleston? Are you guys available tomorrow that we could do this maybe 5 o'clock?
Yeah.
All right. I want to commit to that time right now because of our load-in time, but I think that it's going to require a significant amount of time for Ezekiel too. So
Okay.
let's regroup and do this then. And I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much.
Yeah, man.
That's
Thank
cool.
you guys so
Thank
much.
you
This
so
is
much.
beautiful.
Yeah, this was so much fun. Thank you so much. Beautiful conversation.
And we're doing this tomorrow at 5 p.m., correct?
Yes.
So we're finishing this project tomorrow, correct?
Tomorrow,
Yep.
5 p.m., we'll finish up with Hektor and hit Ezekiel, and we'll take it from there. Sounds like a plan,
Awesome.
man.
Thank you, gentlemen. I appreciate you.
Thank
Appreciate
you so
you.
much,
Oh,
Sean.
here's H. He just walked back in, so thank you again, man.
Thanks, H.
Thank you, HR. Much blessings.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Rock it tonight, my
Have
friend.
a great gig and a great night.
All right. You have a great night, too.
All right,
All
later,
right.
guys.
Thank you, gentlemen. We love
Much
you guys.
love.
We'll talk
Love
to
you
you
too.
tomorrow
Peace.
at 5. Peace. All right. So I'm going to hand you off to Ezekiel now.
Word.
And here he is.
Hey, brother.
Hey, Ezekiel. How you doing, man?
I'm feeling good. Thank you.
Good.
What's going on, Ezekiel? It's Coda and Zig.
Yes, sir. I know who it is, and I'm glad to be speaking with you. And I'm just finishing sound check.
All right. Do you need a second? Do you need a...
No, I'm done. I'm ready for you. This
All
is
right.
when I'm supposed to be doing it.
Beautiful.
So I'm good to go. You ask me anything you want.
Excellent, man. Well, to kind of jump into it, I wanted to ask you about McRad.
Sure. Whatever you want to know about it.
All right. Well, with as far as your musical journey goes, was
Yes.
McRad the first serious project for you?
No, actually, Flag of Democracy in 1981. And then in 1982, it was McRad.
Okay. So at that point, guitar was already your mode of expression, right?
No, bass. I was playing bass in Flag of Democracy. And then I moved over to McRad. Well, me and Chuck started McRad together, basically. Chuck, Tristan, and Ethan started McRad together. And I was playing bass in that band.
Very cool.
And in the original band, the original vintage McRad.
Did you guys is that when you encountered HR and the Bad Brains back then? Did you ever play any gigs?
I believe it was 1983, 84 that HR called us and asked us to tour with them, with the Human Rights Band, to open up. McRad opening up. Yeah.
Yeah, so you've been around, you've seen almost all the lineups of the Human Rights Band.
Yes, I have.
That's very cool. I love that. I know when we saw you last, we spoke a little bit about some of the older albums. Do you remember like
The first one.
yes. Do you
I do.
remember what that album had, what kind of impact that had on you at the time?
It had an amazing impact on me. The song Who Loves You Girl, Happy Birthday My Son. So many songs. I believe the record, he was wearing a camouflage kind of suit, and the record is called can you tell me the name of the record? It just slips my mind.
It's About Love.
It's About Love. That's it. It's About Love. And that song was good. Every song on that record was great. I loved it. HR was my number one love of music. I loved his music more than any other artist. The second and the third were not even close. I could say like, Gil Scott-Heron, Bob Marley, Santana, but they were like not even a close second. He was number one for me because I saw the Bad Brains in 1981, actually. I was 12 years old going on 13, and it was August of 81, and it was before the Roar cassette came out, and I was falling asleep as a little kid, 12 years old. Hardcore was playing. I was falling asleep. And then the Bad Brains came on, and I was filled with electricity. The punk was so good. The music was so good, and I loved punk at the time. And then I heard this other music, and I didn't even know what it was. I had heard Bob Marley from my parents and stuff and Peter Tosh, but I really didn't get into it. But when I heard their reggae, it was like gospel reggae to me, and it lifted my heart up. And after that, I was just touched, literally touched. And so what didn't start McRad yet, and me and Chuck didn't start McRad yet, but when we did, it was based on their band. Like, that's what I wanted to do. It was like when we started, it was like me and Chuck got together in 83. 82, 83. It was like the end of 82, the summer of 82, right before the summer of 82. Could have the dates wrong, could have been 83, but I think it was 82. And we got together, and then for the whole of 82, we practiced, and then we got a Red Records deal, the Red Records company. We put out Dominant Force, but we were also on a compilation record before that, a Philadelphia compilation record. FOD was on it too. FOD, all the bands in Philadelphia were on it. And they picked two bands out of that record and put an album out for each of us. One was us and one was Ruin. And I guess it was the end of 83 going into 84 that record came out, and we had a song on it. The whole record was doing well. It was a small scene then, but the record did well in the small scene. And we had one song, No Guns, that wasn't our original song. It was wrote by Timmy Tanzania, a Rasta man, and we did a version of his song, and it did well. It was being played a lot on the radio.
Yeah,
and
that's a jammer.
That was 1984.
Did Chuck see Bad Brains with you that night, or were you guys friends before?
No, Chuck did not see Bad Brains with me. We were friends before, though. We used to skateboard together at Cherry Hill Skate Park in 78, 79. That's when it all started for us, 76. 1976, skateboarding, and we both got touched by skateboarding at about the same time. We would see each other at like skateboard parks, and then we started to see each other regularly at Cherry Hill Skate Park. In 78, 79, 1980, it closed. I didn't see him for about less than a year. And then I saw him, and then we started to, shortly after that, play music together.
That's very cool. What kind of skating was going on at the time? Were you doing
pool riding?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Was it pools? I didn't think there would be too many pools in Philly.
No, they had a Cherry Hill Skateboard Park. It was like right outside of Philly, 20 minutes away, and they had the most beautiful skateboard park with all these 1, 2, 3, 4 pools, a half pipe with a 3/4 pipe, a reservoir, and another little practice area called the L Bowl. The L Bowl. It was a small bowl, but they had a right kidney, a left kidney, a thing called the Egg Bowl, which was like very big, and they had a keyhole, which looked like a keyhole, and it was very big too. They were all really big pools.
Wow, that's a pretty nice setup for the time, especially.
Yeah, I believe the Egg Bowl was 12 feet high.
Yep.
What do you think? Yeah. Is there a cross between playing music and skating?
Absolutely, 100%. If it wasn't for skating, that's why I say it started with skating, because if it wasn't for skating, we wouldn't have listened to the music we were listening to, which was kind of like punk. All the English bands, Sex Pistols, 999, Buzzcocks, all those bands. And that's what was inspiring us. But I wasn't thinking about playing the music yet then. I was just listening to it. And then when the park closed down, I needed a new hobby. So like I bought myself a bass, and I just started practicing it. And that was when I was 12 years old, and 19, right when the park closed, 1980. I just had turned 12. So like I turned 12 my birthday's at the end of the year in October. So like 1981, I was starting to dabble with music and playing with people, and with the concept of like, not a punk rock and not having to know how to play exactly. I overheard you were talking to our bass player, and I was also inspired by Sid Vicious, because, you didn't have to know how to technically play. And we were afraid that we'd have to be so technical to play in a band. But when, he came out, he showed another thing, that you didn't have to be so technical, and you could play. But I don't want to, no, I love technique, but that was early in my starting. I didn't want to be, pushed away from it because I had to do like so much studying. When I would say I want to be a musician to my parents, they'd be like, oh, you have to study for hundreds of, 20 years, 30 years, so it kept me away from it. But the punk kind of allowed me to try. And after trying, we were doing that punk thing. But when we saw the Bad Brains, we saw that how important technique is. And, we wanted to implicate that. And I started to practice and get into the instruments, and understand it a little more.
Yeah, it's very interesting. In a sense, they're almost like the polar opposite of that Sid Vicious perspective. They're like the masters of technique and just locked in so tight. So it's very interesting to come in one way and get inspired, and then the whole script is flipped and you're inspired even more in a different way.
Exactly. That's right.
And I think it's important that you come in that way. Like, it's got to seem like it's accessible to you. You know what I mean?
That's right. And before it didn't seem accessible, and then it seemed accessible, and then the Bad Brains brought that technique, and we wanted to learn technique, and we looked at it like skateboarding, because we wanted to learn technique on skateboarding too. So we put our same focus of learning tricks and skateboarding to learning, how to play our instrument as best as we could.
It's like it's so important to find that discipline in the fun things, in the things that you want to express yourself with. So,
yes,
and like, especially at that age, and like, that's so impactful, and it carries through, because that's when you really develop, am I going to do the thing? Am I going to follow the thing I want to do? What is the thing I want to do?
Yes.
So you guys open with H. When do you ultimately start writing and playing with H?
That wasn't until 35 years later, actually.
Wow.
And that's a long, winding road.
Yeah.
But we did go on tour with the Human Rights Band, Mclaren opening up, and we played also with Trouble Funk, and we did a little tour. And then after that, I was very, very inspired, because I had seen the Bad Brains, but now I had seen a band that was it had two guitar players and a horn section and percussion and women singers. And it was just a bigger, giant sound. And HR was also still, he's acrobatic on stage. And, he again did a flip right on the note, and it just blew our minds. And, it just made us want to really take Mclaren to the next level. And that's what we did. We pushed Mclaren, and we started to, we pushed it until 1986. And in 1986, the punk rock kind of movement died out, and didn't completely die out, but it was going through a low time right before a boom. There's ebbs and flows, so it was right before it really, but by that time I was 17, 18. I had to get a job, and that's where the winding road started back to, that was the beginning of the winding road, where I wasn't really playing much music. I was just, trying to make a living. And then I had, children, and then I had a little misfortune. And this is, again, I would say, the shamanistic aspect of HR. We had met, and he had remembered Mclaren, but I was prepubescent youth. I had not become a man yet or grown any facial hair when I was doing the Mclaren thing. So he couldn't really remember me. He just knew my name. He remembered my name, Ezekiel, and he remembered Mclaren. So what happened is I'm in Philadelphia, and he moves to Philadelphia with his wife, who has a job there. and I'm actually playing with a reggae band called I Orchestra. And he, he found us, and he was kind of doing a few of his songs, and we did that for about a year, and then we both stepped out for about 6 months, and then he had mentioned that he wanted to do. Well, his wife had mentioned he wanted to do his own band, and he had she had asked me if I was interested, and then he came and visited me, and he asked me also, and I said, you're my favorite artist, of course, I'll do whatever I can. But I have to practice. And he was like, he said, yes, that's great. Let's practice for 6 months. And this was about end of 2014. And we practiced for about 6 months. And then we did our first show on this 2015 at the Bowery Electric, May 2015. And it sold out. And it was a great show. And then that was the beginning. And I've been with him ever since.
That's a beautiful arc of getting there. And that's the one thing that, now speaking to each one of you, it's so clear that there's like kind of, like you said, ebb and flow for each of you on your path to where you are now with HR. And it's so interesting the impact he had on each of your lives, and how like it's almost like the right time, right place kind of thing for each one of you.
Yeah, 100%. I feel completely at home. And I'm grateful to be doing it.
You have a very special way of I want to word it right, like guiding HR through some of the songs sometimes. And I just think it's really interesting. I don't want to say, I'm not trying to word this in a way that like it doesn't, discredit HR, because he's doing his own beautiful thing. But I think you pay this very close attention to him, and it's just clear how many years you've been admiring his music and how much the music means to you when you guys are playing it. And
that is very true.
Could you just speak on that a little bit of how that's
Absolutely.
developed over the years?
Absolutely. So he had mentioned to me, he said, to really make these songs work, you have to learn them, and then you have to forget them, so you can really sing them and not just sing the lyrics, but you have to be inspired by the song. And so I realized I was a disciple of his, and so I tried to key into him instead of trying to just follow the song structure as it was recorded one time or another. And sometimes there was different recordings too. So I just tried to key into him and key into his melody and the way that he sings, and really just feel where he's going with it and try to go with him. And so it's not directing at all. It's really actually accepting.
That's perfectly said, because yeah, I agree. It's not a direction thing. It's more of an ebb and flow kind of thing, where you are noticing what he's doing and you're kind of like letting it flow in the way that it should go, whether that's what the recording is or not.
Yeah, as long as he can hear the melody, he gets inspired to sing the song. But if we can't play the melody, then he can't key in. He has so many songs, he has to remember so many lyrics.
It's so true. Like leading up to recently, I've been, just diving into his whole career more and more. I've obviously always loved all the albums, but more recently I've realized he has a deeper solo career than his career with Bad Brains. Like obviously, people think of him as the front man of Bad Brains, but if you look at his whole trajectory of his whole career, I think his solo music is just as important or more important than the Bad Brains in some senses, because you get to see his growth over all the years.
Yes. And it's his heart desire. It's not, accepting, it's just a piece of the puzzle.
Yes,
this is his vision.
That's the main kind of thing we picked up from talking to him yesterday, was how important his soul is in the music. He has to feel it with every word and every lyric and melody.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I love all the human rights records, and I love all the Bad Brains records too. But I would always go to the reggae songs and the Bad Brains records.
Same,
I would.
same here.
Yeah.
I mean, I love the heavier punk songs too, but like Stay Close to Me was the first song we learned as a band when we were like maybe 13 years old or whatever, and I think that was the first song I ever recorded. Like the first time I ever tried to record myself was singing Stay Close to Me. So it's always been the reggae stuff that hit us for sure.
Yeah, I love it all, but I do have, as I get older, I need that calm, gentle approach. And also my ears started to hurt, actually. I got ringing and tinnitus from the hardcore. Yeah. The loudness of the snare drum hitting in my ear all the time.
Well, and I think there's something too to something that becomes steady and calm and focused, right?
Mm-hmm.
As you do with like your practice musically or philosophically or spiritually, it all comes to a centered point. And I think, just like, it starts with a big burst of energy, like a flame is a giant dancing fire, and then it hones into a coal, right? And that's where it's ultimately more hot and where it's more potent. And I think like that's the true trajectory of a creative or anyone who, is going to be inspired or going to try to inspire or try to create or try to have, or just life, I guess is the better way I'm trying to say it, is we become focused.
Yeah. I like the way you put that.
Thanks, man. To kind of like, so you start playing with H and like, as you're like, and maybe we touched upon it, but to ask more specifically, like throughout playing with H, what lessons have you learned in like?
Well, so many, but I would say one of the most important things is to make sure that you take care of your holistic, your whole self in this operation of being in a band and touring. So you have to know your parts, and you have to be able to travel, and you have to take care of yourself, and you have to be able to be with other people because it's a group effort. Teamwork makes the dream work.
It's perfectly said. Is there a gig or a show that stands out for you with HR over the years, like a moment on stage that
so it's been like over a decade. It's been over a decade, and there's probably close to 500 shows, maybe more. Yeah, maybe less, maybe more. I don't know, but I haven't kept. I lost count after like 20, and there's been shows that have been just like the spirit comes in, and it's amazing, and we take care, we practice our parts, and sometimes the spirit comes in and it just lifts it up. And the spirit can come in when we know that we're a strong unit. So we allow that door to let the spirit come in. I guess if we didn't know that, if we didn't know our parts and we weren't together as a band, then even if the spirit was trying to get in, it might not be able to because we don't know our own parts. So it's important to know what we're doing. And, I am trying my best to keep up.
Well, you're doing a wonderful job. We are so blessed to have got to see you perform with HR, and it's beautiful. Like not just the interplay between you and HR, but also your moments when you're doing solos and stuff. Like you really put your heart and soul into it, and we're really thankful for the time we got to experience it.
Thank you. That I greatly appreciate.
Awesome. Well, thank you,
All right.
Ezekiel. We appreciate
Yes,
your
sir.
time, man. We appreciate
Okay.
you letting us dig into your past and music.
Yes.
And this has been great, man.
Anytime.
Yeah, awesome.
Anytime you want, do you have my contacts, right?
I don't. I mean, we're friends on the gram, on the Instagram.
Okay, well, that's a way to get in contact with me. Just tell me who you are, and if there's anything you want to talk about,
Word.
give me
Okay.
a call. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe
All right.
we could do another one where we dive super, super deep into McRad and do like
Yeah,
We
track by
can.
track. Yeah, we'd love to talk to you
Any-
and Chuck
sure.
sometime.
that'd
really
be
cool.
sweet. All right, cool,
Yeah.
man. Yeah.
Love it. I would love it
Thank
too.
you, Ezekiel. Much love.
Okay.
Oh.
Your names are?
This is Ziggy and Coda from
Right.
from the Cleveland show.
From Sea Level.
Okay, yes.
Random
remember
question, and
Yes.
before we let go here, and it could totally be nothing, but my dad, he built the amp I played that you played when we played at the Winchester, and he's
Yes.
like, and he was so proud of it. He's like, man, I saw Ezekiel. He kept looking back at it like, yeah, well, it's a good amp. So I kind of want to know if that was true or not. Like,
That is true. Yeah, that is true. Yeah. There are some amps on the road that are not good, and there's most of the time playing with HR, they are good though.
Yeah.
90% of the time. I love a twin reverb, I love a Marshall. But I loved your father's amp. That was in the top three.
that's gonna make his holiday hearing
Yeah,
that.
he's gonna
He
love
was
that.
so stoked about that. All right, man.
Good.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. And if he can make me an amp, that would be great. And
Oh,
I'll do
snap.
whatever I have to do.
All right.
I'll put in the money, whatever it needs. But I love that amp, and I know I can't get one just anywhere.
Baboom, that's a tall order.
Yeah, he would
I'm
love
going to
that.
play this for him. And
Yeah.
that'd be sweet, man.
He's gonna be down in the basement immediately.
Cooking it up. Well, we'll put a pin in that too, and I'll circle back with you on that.
Yes, no problem.
Awesome.
No rush. No stress.
Well, if you can pass us to Hector the wrap up, we'd
Yes.
appreciate that, my friend. So thank you.
All right.
Much
Thank you.
love.
Much
Ziggy.
love. Thank you.
And Cody.
Yep.
All right. Respect. Rastafari. Yo, man, what's up?
What's up, Hector?
Hey,
Good to hear from you again, my friend.
yeah, thanks, man. How's things going today?
Going good. How about you? How was yesterday?
Wow, yesterday seems so long ago. So far, so good, man.
Yeah. Good.
So
good,
far,
good.
so good. Thanks for asking.
The gig
So,
went smooth.
It did. It did. It was a Monday night.
Which is rough.
Well, it was Monday. And I'm not from the area, but apparently it's a lot warmer.
Oh, really?
It's pretty chilly. It was pretty chilly. It's chilly tonight. Thank God we're indoors instead of outdoors.
True. That's
There's
right, 'cause
actually
you
a
guys are
band
in
out
Florida.
here. Yeah, but it just seems like Florida's having a little bit of a cold snap for a few days, which is when we're here. So, but
Always
so
when you're
far so
there.
good, man.
Excellent.
Yeah, right. It's crazy, but back home, it's like single digits where I live tonight, so I'm not complaining.
Yeah, it's pretty cold here in Cleveland tonight.
That's yeah.
Oh, I
we're-
bet.
Yeah. We're in the.
bet.
We're in the.
You guys got snow?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
All right. All right.
it's
right.
it's yeah.
So
It's like
you know.
13. It's like.
Exactly. All right. So you guys in New York, same thing. There you go.
But anyway, man, to kind of pick up where we left off yesterday, we were talking about the kind of rhythm of life, and like we were taught lastly. I think we were talking about a snare drum that you got from your first gig with H, like.
Oh, the
And-
pic-
No.
piccolo snare.
piccolo
So
snare.
what happened was, yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. I thought you were saying I got it from playing with H. No,
no,
when
it
I
was-
opened up for H. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. So
I have that now on stage.
There it is.
This guy this guy who's playing,
Yeah.
his name's John Picard. I'm just meeting him. Really super awesome guy. Like yourselves, by the way. So we love this. We can keep this going. To me, this makes all the difference in the world, really. I don't care how great you are or all this and that and the other, but we gotta be good to one another, at least the best we can, making an effort. Makes all the difference. So this brother, he's cool. He's got his kit set up. he's like, you can use whatever you want. I'm like, wow. And as soon as I walk in, I'm looking at the snare drum. It's like, it's hammered bronze. You know, it's got like hammered bronze or brass, right? But it's old. I'm like, it's got that mojo from a mile away. I'm just like, whoa. And then he's got a timbale, same color. Long story short, he's played with Yellow Man, and he's played with Culture using that snare drum and that timbale. And he's like, you could use them if you want. I'm like, you know, I'm melting a little bit. And then I'm like, you know what? Thank you, brethren. I appreciate you. However, I think I'm just going to use my stuff because, you know, it's his frequency. It's his thing. And, you know, I want to play it, right? He's played it using it for Culture and Yellow Man, this and that and the other. So to come full circle with this, yeah, that little snare drum that I still have from the first time I ever opened up for HR, long before I started playing with HR, before I got the call, that little snare drum, which is my side spice, is my little piccolo drum that I'm using, and I'd rather use that, honestly, than that beautiful stuff that brother was offering me, because it's a frequency, it's a vibration.
I know exactly what you mean, because I do not like to use other bass players' amps unless I kind of need to, you know. But like for the most part, like I just it's a frequency thing, and then for me too, I always have this thought in the back of my head, like, what if I break it? What if I break it? What if I break it?
Right.
I did that, you know, once. I happened to me once. I used someone's amp. We played our set. Once we were done, he got up to play his set, and the amp just wouldn't turn on. I didn't do anything crazy. I didn't kick it or jump on it, and I felt so bad. He had to use my amp for his set.
Oh wow! Yeah, so you know what I'm talking about. I'm preaching to the choir. Yeah, but for me, it's just like I've always got so much going on in my brain, and I'm trying, like I shared with you yesterday. You know, I just kind of feel sensitive to all the different things happening, and so I have to work real hard to kind of focus. And so, not using his drums, so to speak, I already know what mines feel like and how much I could lay in, because these are bigger drums. You know, I use 3x13s. You guys see what I've used with HR. I use a 3x13s. Both of them are 3x13s. And I like them because they're cool. But right now at this point, I love them because it gives me a chance I can kind of lay into them a little bit without overpowering HR or causing him to turn around and you know, side eye me. You know what I mean? And with bigger drums, you know, I'm still a little nervous about too much. You know, I'm trying to keep it pulled back if I possibly can. We had a gig. Absolutely, we had a gig. Actually, it was in Dayton. One of the bass player from the Raging Nathans, a punk band out of Dayton, Cincinnati, Ohio area. He works at this spot. I forget the name of the bar, but they have bands there. And the band that played before us, the backline, was this big Ludwig Vista Light, you know, the clear shells like John Bonham, the big snare drum. And I was like, oh, you know. So I wound up playing them, and they were really fun. I used the guy's cymbals, big cymbals. We didn't have any time for me to switch over. It was just one of those things. So I had to make the best use of it as I could. And I thought I was doing okay. But lo and behold, that one particular gig, HR lasted like maybe 2 songs. And he had to get off the stage. He had a really, really bad headache where somebody who was there helping us out actually drove him back to the hotel. And we actually finished this set on stage. We were only 2 songs in. We had probably about 7 more to go. And Ezekiel was the man. He brought it home. We played the songs he sang. It wasn't the same, obviously, and what was really beautiful was there was a couple people that left, but I'm telling you, like the bulk of the people that were there stuck around, and they really appreciated it. So that's the love because of HR, you know.
That's beautiful. Man. That kind of touches on one of the things we were just speaking to Ezekiel about, his way of understanding what H is going for on stage, and he has this kind of like ebb and flow with H. So it's interesting that he was able to kind of step in and do that, you know, because I feel like he he cares about it. He knows that those people needed that in their soul that night, and
Yeah, man.
sometimes you got to do what you got to do on stage. I think that's an important lesson.
Absolutely. And if you don't mind my saying, and I don't think he would mind my saying, but Ezekiel is not just a guitar player in this crew. It's his thing with HR is more of a holistic thing. I'm sure you've heard the term holistic, and it's medicine, and it doesn't just treat the one area that's being afflicted or whatever the imbalance of the malady is or what have you. It's treating the area, but with the whole body in mind.
That's very interesting. Do you think that goes both ways? Like H's voice heals Ezekiel, and Ezekiel's guitar playing heals H's, is that a two-way street?
I think that they have that kind of relationship, and I've never tried to, I'm not putting a label on it or a stamp on it. Like, okay, but when you think of the word holistic and that it's in regards to medicine, and medicine, it can be used as a metaphor for music in so many ways, then I think holistic is a good word. I think it's a healthy word to use in regards to Ezekiel and HR and their relationship and the kind of exchange that they have on and off the stage. You see what I'm saying? And I think you could have Joe Satriani on guitar or whoever. They're like just like the greatest, and that's cool. But can they ebb and flow with HR? Can they do what Ezekiel did that night when HR had to leave the stage in emergency and man the rest of the show? Yeah, that has yet to be seen. So big ups to Ezekiel.
It's definitely a deep listening and deep understanding of each other. And I think ultimately, like, whenever you see the Human Rights Band, that's what the collective ensemble seems to be doing. Like, it seems to be everyone's honed into every little movement, every little word. And like, it's a real deep, meditative, almost kind of like show, and like in the best way. So I think that holistic thing, I think it definitely is all of you. It's the whole package here.
Right on. Thank you.
I had
Thanks.
one question specifically about what you do. On your snare drum, you do this technique with your fingers. Like,
Yeah, so we were interested. So I picked up on it at the gig, and I told Dave, and we were all just kind of standing there
watching your
like
hands,
sinking into your rhythm and watching your hands.
Well,
so when you're doing a reggae rhythm, like this might be too technical for some of our listeners that don't know totally drums fine. Or don't play drums, but typically a reggae drummer will hold the stick on the snare and kind of like mute it and do like a little rim shotty kind of thing, is kind of like a standard way of playing a snare in reggae. But what we notice you do is you have your fingers almost playing like a counter rhythm on the stick while you're playing the actual rhythm. Like, can you explain any of this to us?
I'll try. First and foremost, that what you guys have noticed, that's been pointed out to me, here and there over, last few years or so. And I never was really conscious of the fact that I was doing that. Like, it was never a conscious effort. And I don't mean any disrespect, or I'm not trying to get religious, but I'm going to use like the Bible or spirituality as a metaphor for this thing. And that is like, you got people who they've spent their whole lives studying the Bible or the religious texts. They have PhDs and they could tell you inside and out, and and God bless them, because we need people who are willing to do that, because it's a higher learning thing. But I'm not judging them, but they seem to still be in the quest of what it is. And then you got folks who didn't go to school, never had the opportunity to like finish a regular school, go to a regular school for whatever reasons, and let alone go to college and get a degree and do that and write books and this and that on it. because you get a lot of people talking about, like, how do you do it? And then you just get folks who just have it. And I'm not saying that I have it, but I'm using this metaphor as, like, sometimes it's not about thinking about doing this, that, or the other. It's just about kind of like letting your own energy kind of meet up with the vibrations with the other folks. And that's how you learn. That's how you get it, so to speak, as opposed to, you know, getting in your head about it. Like, okay, I hold this stick this way and I do it that way. And this is what I got to do. And this is what I shouldn't do. And, like, you know, especially with like roots music, be it blues or country or Scandinavian hillside. I mean, whatever roots, most of this music, this roots music, man, you know, okay, you look at Eastern music, like Indian music, like raga. Those guys, most of them, when they study, they can't even touch the instrument after they've spent years, like, understanding the rhythms, learning how to count. You know how they do this thing with the clapping, and it's incredible. So, but that's like an oral tradition. So that's one way of learning it. There's another way of learning it by books. But then you have people that they learn as they go. And I'm sharing this with you because I appreciate the question, and because, like, that thing you guys noticed me doing, that wasn't something that I learned from somebody. That wasn't something that I saw somebody do. That was something that I think happened because I just have, like, energy flowing through me, and it's like a nervous thing.
Yeah, I think it goes back to what we very originally started talking about, was the way you perceive rhythms and how you're thinking of all the different vibrations and rhythms happening. So it's almost like
manifesting.
It's a visual way of the way you said that your brain kind of perceives everything.
Yeah,
it's very
like what's happening on the inside can sometimes be noticeable on the outside, and vice versa. Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, like now, like, okay, I'll go out and play tonight, and I'm not even thinking about doing that. That's not something in the forefront of my mind. If I happen to catch myself doing it, which has happened a couple times, I can't think about it, because once I start thinking about it, it just kind of, I stumble, because this isn't something that I should be thinking about. I should just let it roll. And if it happens, cool. And if it doesn't, then that's cool as well. Yeah, man. But I'll be perfectly honest with you and transparent with you. I was watching a Bernard Purdy video, and it's really cool. And he's talking about his shuffle, that Purdy shuffle that he does. And I'm watching it. I'm like, oh, yeah, Purdy shuffle. And then at one point I'm looking, and this is an old video, probably at least 20 years old, maybe even 30. He's moving his fingers. But he talks about it, and he says he's consciously kind of keeping time. But this whole thing without those little notes and then the big notes, I don't know about you guys playing like string instruments, but on the drums, we call those ghost notes. So you have a boom, ba, boom, ba, boom, ba, ba, boom, da, 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 ba, da, da. You know, it's just a lighter touch note that leads into the bigger note. And so if you look at like drumming education, they'll call those ghost notes. So I guess those are what those are that I'm doing. And he referred to them as ghost notes in this video. And it's an interesting word to use to describe it, you know, ghost notes, spirit notes.
Wow, I never thought of it like that. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's like, it's the in-between. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. On a metaphorical
So if you're
level.
going 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 2. You know what I'm saying? You're sneaking in notes, and you hear it. You guys probably do it yourselves. I'm sure you guys do it yourself. Maybe you don't know it. And it's just part of the music. But I think it's part of the vibrations, and I think that the spirits are part of the vibrations, especially with roots music. So much of roots music is yeah. So much of roots music is comes from the culture, and so much of culture revolves around spiritualism or religion. You know what I'm saying? Things of the spirit. Because as far as I'm concerned, we're all spiritual beings having a human existence. That's what this is. It's a lesson in being human. You know?
Yeah, yeah. Everything else is the ghost note.
Ghost note of life. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah.
And, you know, and like our ancestors, you know, they're the real deal, but they left the ghost notes, and some of those ghost notes are still resonating. Like I'm a firm believer of that. Part of the reason why I'm still here, knock on wood, is a lot having to do with my mom and pops, who are still looking out for me, and my grandmother and my grandfather on both sides. And this goes back. So it takes the whole thing in a little bit deeper, but that's where we all come from.
Yeah, yeah. It's like, you know, you see a star, which is the light that's of a dead star, possibly, that's gotten here. It doesn't. It makes sense that, you know, something resonating in like frequencies and vibrations could have a similar, you know, or I'm sure do have similar effects, you know.
Absolutely. I mean, right now I'm talking into this box, and you're talking into your box, and you know, you have your resonance and frequency. I have my own, but lo and behold, it's being transmitted through this thing, and yeah, it's wild. It's wild. So far so good. It's been a wild ride, man. How are you guys doing? Are you guys gigging anytime soon? Or?
Yeah, well,
we have one gig in a week up in Erie.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're putting out the record with the tune we did with H. We've been working on wrapping that up and getting everything moving on that. So moving into the new year,
Beautiful.
stuff's going to pop up. And
Nice.
But we're pretty open at the moment, so.
Yeah.
Well, I hope we get to do some more stuff together on stage. Looking forward to that. And by the way, thank you for staying in contact with us, and for this opportunity to, you know, to just share and get to know one another a little bit better. We're going to have to reciprocate at some point. We're going to have everybody in HR and the HR band call you guys, and
yeah, let's
do a little
do it.
Yeah.
We'll do.
We'll pick up
cool.
for sure.
Yo, yeah, man. Have you ever seen that thing they do? It's on YouTube. I guess it's been going for a few years now. What they do is they'll get a band on the road that's on the tour, and they go on their tour bus, and they get like a little tour.
Jam in the van?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Well, maybe that's it. I'm not sure if that's the one. I know it's not like a new concept, but yeah, basically the same premise, you know, just kind of like touch base with the touring band, working band out there, and just see how it's going and how they're feeling, what have you. Yeah, that's what this kind of feels like a little bit.
Yeah, we're blessed.
Yo, you should see where we're at. Yo, have you guys been here at the poorhouse in South Carolina?
No.
All right, well,
Been in
you guys
different
have to-
poorhouses, but
yeah. This place, it looks like it's been here for a minute, and they have a bus, an actual bus that's painted up, that's attached to the venue, building, bar, restaurant, and it's like an old school bus, like an old school touring bus with stickers and graffiti and furniture, and that's what I'm sitting in right now as I'm
whoa.
having this conversation with you guys. But if you guys look it up, I'm sure you'll see pictures of it on Google or website or what have you. It's called Poorhouse.
I want to say I really appreciate your Instagram posts of all the gigs and all the little pictures you take of like random things in the neighborhood.
Man, you're so welcome.
I really get a kick out of that. It's because a lot of people will take like a picture of the stage or something, but you kind of really show the feeling of your day and what you experienced in that town.
Well, I appreciate that. I mean, I've thought of like, you know, like the topless shots and maybe like facial hair close-ups, body hair close-ups. No, I'm just kidding.
That's a different type of gram.
Yeah. Well, you know, everybody's got their own thing going on. But thank you. That means a lot to me. And you know what? Honestly, I'd like to try to keep up with that a little bit more. I'm always taking pictures. It's just, you know how it is. And by the way, you know, just making time to post it and do all that. But by the way, you guys are great. I love how you guys do those little videos.
Thanks, man. Our skits.
Yeah, those are great, man. You got to keep doing that.
Thank you. Yeah, we have a lot of fun. We just get together and make each other laugh and film silly things. The last one we were filming, I'm like, Dave, let me slap you with this turkey.
What?
Yeah, we did like a Thanksgiving video where we were saying what we were thankful for, and then I just slapped Dave with a piece of turkey.
All right. And that's on your Instagram?
Yeah.
Okay. I gotta see that. That's gonna be
Excellent.
fun.
Hector,
Well, we got one more question, and then we'll let you
All
go,
right, cool.
Hector. I was just
All right, brother.
curious, can you speak on the influence of Earl to your drumming at all? Like I was recently
Lord.
listening to that new live Bad Brains record that came out last week, and I was just like, man, Earl drums like nobody else, but I feel like the closest anyone's ever come might be you. You really
Oh,
have a
no,
really interesting rhythm.
stop. Oh my gosh, I almost fell off my chair. I can't believe you just said that. Someone once a long time ago told me, they said, Hector B, I'm not trying to tell you what to do or what not to do, but man, I'll tell you, you learn how to take a compliment. And I said, you know what? Thank you. So thank you. That is huge. That I can't really put into words how much that means. Earl, I've never seen Earl play. Other than, videos. I've never met him, but I've clocked in thousands of miles and countless number of nights sleeping. I've slept next to HR, on a plane, driving, hotel rooms. So I feel like I've been blessed to. HR's HR and Earl's Earl, but it's kind of cool. I feel like as I get to know HR a little bit more, it helps me give me a little bit more of an overstanding of Earl, because that's his brother. I believe that's his only brother. And I'm not sure on how many siblings they have, but I believe it's just the two brothers. And, Earl, there's this guy named Elvin Jones. God rest his soul.
We're big fans of him.
All right. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. That makes perfect sense to me. And actually, that just
the record we're putting out is called "Scream Like You're at Coltrane's Funeral."
Oh Lord, really?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Elvin just took it to that higher level, and for. I'm not how should I say? I'm not painting Elvin into a corner and say that he took it to a higher level in that genre of music, because for me, Elvin just took it to a higher level. But for the quartet, and then what he did with the jazz machine for all those years till he left his body, he just was, and what he left behind. Earl's still in his body. God bless him. I hope I get to see him play someday and maybe get to meet him. I ask H all the time. I was like, man, or I don't ask H. I tell H, I was like, man, I can't wait to meet your brother someday. I'm really looking forward to that. And he smiles, and I think he would like that too. But to answer your question directly, Earl, to me, what he's done, his contribution to date, to me, means as much to me as what Elvin means to me. And it's like, yeah. And you can quote me directly on that, because, I'm like holding back tears right now. I'm getting a little, verklempt, as they say, because it's been a lot of years, and I'm just scratching the surface. But thanks to Elvin, and thanks to Earl, and thanks to countless others, I feel like so far so good.
Absolutely, we agree.
So far so good, man.
and thanks to you, Hector.
Well, come on, man. Thank you. I'm just kind of like I'm like a ninja in training.
There you go. Okay.
And Earl was definitely a ninja. Oh my goodness, you guys already know. I can't wait to hear this record. I was talking to, I know this young person. He's on the guitar, and he's played with Bad Brains after Doc had his stroke. So Doc was up there, Bad Brains regrouped, H was on stage, they were all there, but this young person, his name is Chogi Marco, and his grandfather was Richie Havens.
Wow.
So Chogi is a guitar player, played with the Brains, did a number of shows, like he did the Chicago Riot Fest and stuff. You could, look up the Brains stuff that HR, the most recent, which, 10 years ago or something?
Yeah, that was about 10 years ago.
Yeah, so Chogi, Doc was up there doing his Doc thing, but because of the stroke that Doc had, Doc didn't have full capabilities to do all those leads and stuff. So they had Chogi up there doubling up on the rhythms and then taking solos. You guys could see it for yourself.
Yeah, I've watched clips before.
Yeah, so that's Chogi. Chogi and I, we play often in upstate New York. Just different situations bring us together, and man, it's been incredible just sitting next to that young man playing his guitar, because of my adoration. And same thing with Richie Havens. Richie Havens just took it to that higher level. So having had the opportunity to play with Chogi has been incredible. I'm looking forward to doing more with Chogi. But the long story short is Chogi is Daryl's guitar player.
Okay, and in his new group, Palm Beach?
Yes.
Very
so
cool.
the recent hit that he did at the Bowery Electric,
Yeah.
he played out live. Chogi was on guitar. You see him on the videos.
Cool, yeah. I watched some clips.
And so that's pretty much the same time that Daryl and those guys dropped this new Bad Brains material, previously unreleased. And so, that stuff is like on eBay now for like, I don't know, $100, $150. I saw $200, $250.
Yeah, so it's a record store day thing, and it's something I do every year. So I waited outside for about an hour. It wasn't too long, about an hour or so.
Okay.
So I got the record for regular price. Didn't have to go on eBay,
Good.
but
Good. And you only got one copy, right?
Yeah, I only grabbed one copy.
Yeah.
The store that I go to, they only let you get one copy. But
good. That's good.
Yeah, it's
I reached out. Yeah, man, and I'm hearing about it, but I haven't heard it. And so I reached out to Chogi. I was like, "Yo," he's like, "I got you." He's gonna send me a copy of the Daryl release because he's playing guitar on that as well.
Nice. Yeah, I haven't heard that yet. I'm waiting to get that.
Yeah. So he's gonna send. He said he's got a promotional copy. He's gonna let me have. I'm like, yes.
Awesome.
So but he did say, because I was like, man, I don't got like $150 to pay for this thing, but I want to hear it. So he said he was gonna talk to a couple people on his end, and he's gonna try to find me a copy. But I'm looking forward to hearing this stuff you guys are talking about. I heard Earl takes like a drum solo.
Yeah. So there's a point where Doc's guitar goes out during what song was it? Doc's guitar goes out, and I was loving. I hate saying this because I was loving hearing Doc's guitar out because I could just hear Daryl so clear, and I was like, "Wow, nice. I've never heard these bass parts so clearly." But then they end that song, and then Doc's trying to fix his amp or whatever is going on, and Earl just starts jamming. At first, he's kind of doing like licks, and then he kind of settles into a groove, and he's just kind of hitting a groove, and H starts kind of like toasting on top of the groove. So there's like a 2-minute kind of jam between H and Earl that's worth the price alone,
Well, I'll tell you, man, I was on a run. We were out somewhere, and H was like, I need to use the bathroom. I was like, I got you, so I helped him. He was struggling a little bit that particular evening. Get his cane, but I was just there for him. He asked me to do that, so no problem, And it's always an honor, especially walking through a room. People are kind of looking, oh, it's HR, and and I got him. I'm holding him, and then they're looking at me, and I just, like if he had asked me at some point, some time ago, hey, do you see yourself in 2000, so and so, walking with HR through a crowded room to help him use the bathroom? I was like, are you fucking high? You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
But lo and behold, this is what Jah has got me where I am right now. So give thanks. But as we're walking, I'm like, H, so like, who's your favorite drummer? I was like, outside of Earl, and he smiles. because he already knows I'm always talking about how much I love Earl's playing and how much I've learned and I'm still learning. It's just constant, right? With Earl, never ending. But he says, well, Lenny White. And I was like, oh yes.
Wow.
So Lenny White was the drummer in that fusion band, Return to Forever.
Yeah.
Return to Forever. Now, Return to Forever, that was the shit that those guys were into before they did the Bad Brains thing. They were playing fusion. They were playing that fusion music. Stanley Clarke on bass, Lenny White on drums. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that was their jam. That's and so when they decided they were going to do this other thing, you know, and that's in a lot of ways I believe that's how they were able to have the impact that they had in this particular, this part of the planet, this music, because they had already risen, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly. I think that's,
and then so they put that into the music they were doing. Like we were listening to a song called Quest to Thine Love. Oh man, please forgive me. It was a song recently. HR and I were sharing a hotel room, and I'm sleeping, and then I hear this music. HR put some music on. It's early, and I'm just kind of laying there, and I'm just like, wow, this music, and it's a song that the Bad Brains did a number of years ago, going way back. And I'm asking H about it. And the long story short is that basically he told me that it was something that they wrote in the studio. Because Rick Ocasek was just like, you guys just go crazy with this. And so they just came up with something in the moment. And I'm trying. I have your number, right?
Yeah.
I could text you.
Yeah.
I can't remember the song. I think it's on Build a Nation. Well, no, it wouldn't be on Build a Nation because he told me Rick Ocasek produced it. Anyways, the song is just like out of this world. And there's nothing like progressive rock or crazy, this, that, and the other. It's a vibe, right? And it's just like, I don't know that these guys would have been able to come up with the stuff that they came up with as the Bad Brains had they not had that preemptive with Return to Forever.
That's a really beautiful place to kind of wrap up on, because that's kind of where we started with H yesterday, talking about Return to Forever and that influence on them.
Are you serious?
Yeah, that's one of the first things we talked to H about.
That is nuts.
Right?
And I love it.
It's all
this whole thing's nuts, man. You know it. You know it. This whole thing's nuts. But it's beautiful, man. If it's helping people to smile and giving people a reason to keep breathing and inspiring people, motivating them to want to keep growing and help others to grow, then we're doing all right, man. And back at you guys too, by the way. You know, we appreciate you. I appreciate you. And there's like a lot of times you play music. I'm sure this happened to you guys, and people come up and they're like, oh my God. And, that happens. And to me, I'm just like, well, thank you. But we could have been here playing this music, and we love music. So that's cool. But if you weren't here, then it just wouldn't be the same.
Yeah. No, definitely. Like I often, when we play gigs, often point out there's anywhere any one of these people can be on this evening, but you chose to be here and make this night matter. So just like you said, we could be playing this. We will be playing this. But the fact that it's different is because you're here with us. So, and
the only reason why I brought that up was because I felt that way about you guys when I met you guys.
Thanks,
well, I know
Hector.
I met you previously at a theater show, but when I got to meet everybody in your band and just like the feeling in that room that night was like, it felt like almost like a private party, and everybody was like family directly related in one way or another. And that's really cool. That's really cool. We got to keep this thing going for sure.
Beautiful. Yeah. Whenever you guys come back around, we're ready to do it again. Or if you ever want to have us come around with you, we're ready to do whatever.
Yo, let me ask you a quick question. I'll let you go. How did you guys meet H, and how did you guys get him to sing for you in the studio?
So, well, it kind of goes back to what we're doing right now. So in the pandemic, I've been doing this podcast for a while, and I wanted to see if I can talk to H, right? So I reached out to, I think her name is Kate, who was doing PR.
Oh, at the time she was managing?
Yeah, or Kate.
Okay.
And then I was just in a back and forth for them for a while, and through the conversation, there's an email about or a Instagram thing or something that H was looking for features for stuff. So I had the song in mind, and I rushed Cody and Pat into the studio. We recorded it in a fury and pitched it to H and the crew, and they were into it, and that kind of just opened up the dialogue. And then we met you guys all at the Kent stage.
Yeah, so that was actually our first. Well, no, actually, we did meet H once before. So
in the halls, yeah,
so
in
there was a
Lakewood.
time like 15 years ago where H came with Scotch bonnets. So he wasn't actually with like his band or anything.
Okay.
So it was Scotch bonnets, and he just got on stage and played like 2 or 3 songs. But I remember he came after he did his couple songs, he stepped into the crowd to kind of like, shake people's hands and greet everyone. And he's kind of going through shaking people's hands, and he come up to me, and I've never done this in my life. I don't know why I did it at the time. I think I was just like so spiritually drawn to H, but he's put his hand out to shake my hand, and I just grabbed him for a big hug. Like I'm not shaking your hand. I need a hug. And I felt his spirit. And that was the first time we met H. We didn't get to talk to him or anything like that. It was many, many years ago. And then, now we're
hanging out
wrote
with you
this
guys.
song,
This
and
is
I
awesome.
got to perform it with him and hang out with you. And
Yeah, man. Wow. Thank you for sharing that with me. I appreciate that. Wow, that's beautiful. That's really beautiful. So we're going to try to keep this thing going for sure, man.
absolutely, much
Absolutely.
love, Hector. We appreciate you so much.
Oh, I found the song, by the way. Speaking of feeling the vibe and the energies, it's on God of Love record, and the song is called How I Love Thee.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we're gonna play that one as soon as we get off here.
Check that out. And when you play it, so somehow there's so much stuff, but somehow this is the first time I'm hearing this. But imagine yourself sharing a hotel room with HR, and you're dead asleep, right? You're dead asleep, and at like 6:30, it's early, because we didn't get to sleep till late. I think we were up to 1, and then we were up at 3, and then up at 4, maybe 5. And so I'm passed out. It's like the sky's just getting light, and I hear this sound, this music, and then I hear these vocals. I was like, that's HR. And I'm laying there, and I got my eyes closed, and then I just sit up, and he's sitting there, and he's looking at me. I was like, he's like smiling. I was like, is this you? He's like, yeah. And I was like, wow. And then I sat there and I listened with him, and then it ended, and I looked at him, and he played it again, but this time he got up and he opened up the blinds on the hotel window. And when he did that, it was just a view of trees. And then he sat back down and he turned it up. And I'm sitting there next to HR listening to this song, How I Love Thee. And talk about a surreal moment.
That's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Yeah, I can't wait for you guys to listen to it for yourselves. But that's the backstory on that for me.
I don't know. There's no setting it up like that, but we're going to reenact it. That's going to be our next video, is us reenacting this moment.
Yeah.
Trying to find spiritual.
You guys could draw straws. Who's going to be Hector, and then who's going to be HR and the window, and whatever you guys are going to sit there and look out the window. So, man, thank you guys so much. Much love.
Thank you for your time, Hector.
Hector,
respect and gratitude, man, and best to
Likewise
you and your
back, man.
families. This
Much
time of
respect.
year, but always, not just this time of year, but always, man, always
Definitely.
celebrating life and each other. And I'm looking forward to catching up with you guys in real time at some point. Yo, this podcast, is this something that you're broadcasting now, or we can listen to it later?
It's going to be out later.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
and you'll let us know, of course.
Yeah, we'll
Of
send
course,
it to you and
yeah.
all that. Yeah.
Okay. And and maybe you could change my voice and the language that I'm speaking.
Okay.
Do whatever you want
make
with
an
it.
AI
Make it
voice.
well, make it more interesting. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think I can make it any more interesting than it is, my friend. Hector,
All
thank
right,
you
man.
so much, man. This has
You're
been
welcome so much.
Appreciate your time and your
Yeah, much
insight,
love.
man, and all your
Back
stories.
at you guys.
So thank you so much.
Much love, man. We'll
you-
talk again soon. Blessed
Sounds
up.
good.
Yo, Spike Spiegel here. You just listened to Zig of the Gig podcast. Keep riding the bebop. See you, Space Cowboy. Bang.